features trumpet Caleb Carter from Ottawa, Paul Manger from Lewisburg, Cody Unruh from Mission Valley, and Brad Williams from Topeka. Please come sing along. Here's the Beatles' famous Eleanor Rigby.
terrific job by the Masonic Band. As you see on the campus of Fort Hays State University, Lewis Field, the sun beginning to set, and it is really turning into a terrific football night. With Stan Weber and Matt Kelly on the sidelines, this is Mark Ewing. A little weather starting to blow in here as we watch. There is a chance for rain here, 30% chance on it. I do see some clouds overhead, but hopefully it'll hold off until the end of the game. The band performed at the banquet and the Shrine Bowl parade in the morning of the game and during the pregame show and at halftime. As you just saw, the students are sponsored by Masonic organizations throughout the state of Kansas. The band is administered and supervised by the Kansas Masonic Foundation in Topeka. Gary Bratton, the director of Symphonic Winds and Athletic Bands at Fort Hays State University, he directed that band. There were 214 band members. They gathered at Fort Hays State on Tuesday to begin dawn to dusk preparations for this weekend's event. But time for organized social activities. They're also certainly built to the schedule to allow band members to bond as a unit. They form new friendships. The talents of the students' hours of practice and certainly a wide variety of instrumentation enable the band to produce a rich professional sound, as you just heard. This year the band had 28 alto saxes, 2 baritone saxes, 9 tenor sax, 7 baritones, a marching bell, 33 clarinets, 5 French horns, 6 mellophones, 25 percussion instruments, not done yet, 31 flutes, 15 sousaphones, 22 trombones, and 30 trumpets. I thought they sounded terrific, did a nice job, and I'm glad you could enjoy that at home. Take a look at the stats. When they look, it's a 10-7 ball game so far. And Stan, as I review things, what jumps out at you?
Well, obviously, the total yards right here are in favor of the West. The penalties, though, this is a key point. There have been no mistakes by the West, no shooting themselves in the foot. There's only 4 penalties by the East, but those 30 yards were significant. If you were with us during the first half, they missed out on a couple of opportunities. Time of possession about the same, but the West has really been hitting on all cylinders on offense. The East struggling a little bit more, but it's notable that what the East has done well is really led by 2 great punts by Jared Whitler. Witter has knocked 2 punts of 67 and 50 yards, and that really changed the field position and gave East an opportunity to get those 7 points. But it's been better with the West. What's interesting now as we get to halftime is that wind is blowing, and the wind is blowing from left to right. Now this is north over here. The wind has changed out of the north. All first half, like you would think at this time of the year, the wind has been out of the south. And all of a sudden, some dark clouds have come up. The wind has come up, and it's going the opposite direction. That's going to be very important for the coaches when they come out of the locker room to realize, because you got it in your head throughout all these practice sessions, oh, the wind's out of the south. So in the second half, the East is going to get the opportunity to decide if they want the football first. They'll probably take it. The West better be aware of where the wind is blowing, because it's changed completely.
Well, and fittingly, the folks who live in Hays year-round could tell you, hey, maybe wait another quarter, the wind will change maybe in a different direction. Last time the West scored more than 12 points in this game, by the way, was 2003. It was a 35-2 West win that happened at Wichita State University, as I recall. The West lead, they're at 10. Well, their late lead is 3, but they're at 10 points, which was the total of each of the last 2 years. So as we talk about how this game unfolds and what's going to happen next, is we're going to have some presentations of Shaq. You see Dave Mize very much behind this ball game. You see all these people involved. These behind the scenes of this game, there are tons of things that go on as far as making this thing happen. Each takes a part in the role, and Dave Mize, who you just saw just a little while ago, he was on the right side of your screen, takes a big part of that and doing all the things that needs to be done. And there's so much to happen in this game.
Well, Dave and his wife do an outstanding job of administrating this event, 12 months of the year. This is the big night, but there is a lot of work done. They've started some really neat traditions recently, one of them being a Hall of Fame for Shrine Bowl players and coaches and administrators to be inducted to, and it's going to be great to watch that unfold. Last year they had their first class. This year they had a second class, and as you see that develop, you're going to see some big names and some people that have really contributed to the football playing field, as well as helping out these kids and the Shriners. So a really neat tradition. They got a great plaque that they're going to put up each of the names on when you get into the Hall of Fame, and they're just trying to improve this game slowly but surely every year. There are tons of volunteers. The number of events that have around the ball game have increased dramatically. They had an NFL type of camp here for high school kids that they could come out and get tested on their 40 time and do some things like they do in Indianapolis with the NFL players who want to get drafted. You can come out. You can't have your coach out here or anything like that, but you could come here and do it. Paul Kaufman was involved with that, and Josh Freeman's dad was there as well, running that program. They had a 5K run this year. There are all kinds of different events in addition to the traditional parade. And here you see one of the Hall of Fame guys, Ron Bowen, a guy who was inducted. So, you know, it's going to be a great tradition, and they're trying to improve the game year after year. And they've also spread the game out. It used to be in the original Shrine Bowl rotation, they only went to 3 cities: Wichita State, KU. They played at Memorial Stadium, and K-State in Manhattan. And now they're spreading it out and moving it around throughout the state. And I think that creates a new level of enthusiasm, because when they bring it to a community like Hays, the Shriners that are out here take a special pride for that opportunity to host everyone from the state.
Not to mention the city of Hays. And Hays is a sports city. The Shrine Bowl is one of the year's biggest events, certainly in Hays. But other large events that Hays puts on, the Society of American Germans from Russia, the Wild West Festival is a 4-day event happening around the 4th of July, which attracted upwards to 10,000 people. Hays is also plays host to State 1A boys and girls basketball, volleyball, and one of the biggest events maybe you've never seen, but you should try to get, your 3-2-1A wrestling. They do a terrific job of that. The Shrine Bowl was last staged in Hays in 1997, so it's been 10 years. At this moment, we're going to see some check presentations. That's what this game is all about. All proceeds benefit the Shriners Hospital. So we're going to listen in as some of the check presentations are made. Hope you'll enjoy it at home.
Participating in this event have enhanced their physical skills and build character through outstanding teamwork and efforts this past quarter.
You want to shoot with them?
Extremely proud of playing for 16 Shrine nations who help the children of North America. We wish the participants a safe and enjoyable experience that will enhance their education and life, and that they will treasure the
And while the check presentations are being made, let's go to the sidelines. Matt Kelly has a special guest. Matt?
Actually, guys, I have 2 special guests. I have Tammy Robbins. She is the PR director of the St. Louis Shriners Children's Hospital that we visited last Saturday. And Susan Bland, she was at the end of my story in the pregame show. Susan, you've been a Shriners patient from the age of, you said, 6 months old until 16.
That's correct. That is correct.
Just talk about your involvement with Shriners. And I mean, you were the one giving out 120, 150 hugs last Saturday to all the Kansas Shrine crew that was there.
Well, it's definitely an eye-opening experience, just because they didn't know I was coming. They had no idea that I was going to be here, and I was running up the parade route as fast as I could just to give them all maybe another hug. And they didn't even recognize me at first because I was running so fast, and I got close, and just to see their reactions was unbelievable. It's just, I about cried, to tell you the truth.
You were also telling them last Saturday, I heard you mentioning that you had never been to a live football game.
I've never been.
I mean, talk about that. What do you think?
I'm excited. I'm officially a football fan. I'm a football addict. I'm excited.
And you're, what, 23, is that right?
23, that is correct.
In 23 years, never been to a live football game. You've been to one, 150 hugs last weekend. I was the only one out of that whole Kansas crew that missed out on the hug. Maybe I can work one in here at the end of the thing. Tammy Robbins, you are the PR director of the St. Louis Children's Shriners Hospital. Just talk about how special this is. I mean, I've been lucky to go on 5 separate trips throughout different states for the exact same thing. And for me, it's a remarkable experience every time. Do you see that as well?
It's a remarkable experience for us at the hospital as well, because, you know, these guys, they fly them on a plane, they bring them all the way to St. Louis. We have 150 people coming to the hospital. We're a small place. We have a small number of patients. We generally have somewhere between 10 to 15 kids in the hospital at a time. So it's a huge, huge deal for us. And I think for me, being able to come to the game this year and go to the banquet last night, it was overwhelming for me as a staff member of the hospital to see what an impact that visit truly has on the players, and how it really means something to them, and they understand why they're playing this game. And that, for me and for everybody at the hospital, brings meaning for us.
And we also had an opportunity to we talked to a Wendy McDonald. Her daughter is Sophie McDonald there. And I mean, she, you know, Susan's getting a little choked up. She was last Saturday. Wendy as well. I mean, it's just an awesome experience. So congratulations to you. Susan, they were just showing some more video of all the hugs that you were giving out. And so I think that I'm gonna get a hug.
Have a hug.
And good thing my girlfriend back in Nebraska cannot see this right now, so I might be in some trouble. But anyway, thank you very much for coming tonight. And I'm glad you're enjoying your very first live football game, the first of many, correct?
That is correct. That is absolutely correct.
All right, ladies, thank you very much, guys. We'll try to get a little more for you down on the field here, but let's go back to you guys up in the booth.
Thanks, Matt. That was very entertaining. The game is being televised with the Kansas Shrine Bowl Television Network. The broadcast is produced by Metro Sports of Kansas City and is broadcast live through all the PBS stations in Kansas. Stations carrying the telecast tonight include KTWU in Topeka, KPTS in Wichita, Smoky Hills Public Television, and KOOD in Bunker Hill. All the stations are carried on many cable television systems around the state, making the game available in most Kansas households. So wherever you are in the state of Kansas tonight, I guarantee you, if you stick around, you're going to hear of someone that is from your hometown. They're hometown heroes, 68 of the best players in the state of Kansas. Some of them Division I players will continue their career at Kansas State and elsewhere, and then some players are just playing their last high school football game before they start just to become a student. It's diverse. It's a great group. 6A through 5A, 4A, 3A players, 1A, 2A, and also 8-man players. 8-man football is represented, and this is a great place to represent 8-man football because so much of that happens in western Kansas. The statewide pre-college all-star football game is always played on the last Saturday in July, and all net proceeds benefit the Shriners Hospitals for Children. The Shrine Bowl is supported by, but entirely separate from, the 5 Shrine organizations in Kansas and their nearly 14,000 members. The Kansas Shrine Bowl is the top Shrine high school all-star game in the nation. It has been successful since it began in 1974. In fact, when all the big shots in the Shriners organization come to Kansas, they inevitably say, if there's a Shrine Bowl game that is the best one, this is it. Year-round promotion, news releases, and civic programs make the Kansas Shrine Bowl event much more than just a one-day or a one-weekend event. Certainly have a terrific crowd on hand to watch, as you can see here at Lewis Field on the campus of Fort Hays State University. So it's Stan Weber in the booth and Matt Kelly on the sidelines. This is Mark Ewing bringing you play-by-play of the 34th Annual Shrine Bowl Classic. We've seen a good one so far. It's been a low-scoring game, but there have been, Stan, some events that have really made this one worth watching.
Yeah, it's been good action during the first half. It started out with a deep throw downfield. You see Cameron Castle getting the ball deep downfield to Doug White, 37 yards, and that was so important to get the West some good field position. D. Bell going to Kansas State really hasn't been able to get going very well because of the good defensive play. The West has played very good defense tonight and slowed down the quarterback, Dillard. Dane Semino's been in on 2 series, and both series end up being West scoring drives. A touchdown early. This is the touchdown drive as Jason Robin made himself known, and then Dane hit Zach Settler right down the middle. The tight end got the ball close to the goal line, just a couple of yards away, and Jason Robin, who leads the game in rushing so far with 60 yards on 10 carries, started scoring off in the game. The West led 7-0 behind that touchdown run. The game was later tied up as the East squad got moving down the field, and they were able to score. Into the ball game was their quarterback, really the second-string quarterback. He's only been in for a couple of series, but Tyler Hurl was able to get the job done. Deep throw downfield, 50 yards to Kiara Jones, and the game was tied at 7-7. Explosive wide receiver from Pittsburgh High School going to Pitt State. Showed what he can get done, and this game was tied. A little dancing out there, but then Semino got his second series of the ball game, and again he took his ball club down. A 4th down use of the snap count to get the East to jump offside, kept the drive alive, and allowed the West to get deep into the territory of the East. Almost scored a touchdown, couldn't quite get it done, but with 2.2 seconds left, they were able to send out their field goal kicker, and Drew Johnson from 25 yards in the last play of the half scores for the West, and they lead 10-7 at halftime.
And that's how it sizes up. West's team is now on the field, as is the East team. The second half is about to begin. Let's talk about the officials here, because this is a different twist that you won't see in your ordinary game. They have 15 officials on hand, and the guys you saw in the first half are not the guys you'll see in the second half. They become alternates, and they have a whole new crew of 7 officials. That's how they get everybody involved. Does that change the game at all?
Well, it will for the interior line, because you get to learn what the umpire is going to call. It's a little bit like the umpire in baseball. What is a strike zone? Well, the offensive linemen need to know what the umpire's holding range is. What's he going to call? So far, we haven't seen the flag thrown, so the umpire working with the offensive lineman have given them the benefit of the doubt. But the next guy comes in, and he may have a different interpretation. So for the first few plays, I think those guys are most affected. Otherwise, the players really don't notice who's officiating the ball game.
If you're sitting at home tonight and you'd like to make a check presentation yourself, we invite you to do that. Certainly the Shriners would love you to do that. To make a donation, If you'd like to donate to the Kansas Shrine Bowl, please send your donations to the Shriners Hospitals for Children, P.O. Box 176, Wamego, Kansas 66547, or you can call toll-free 1-800-530-5524. Kansas Shriners, we stand up to ask for your support on behalf of the Kansas kids who cannot do so themselves. Stan, here's a good got a question for you. Two questions, actually. Jeremy Reed, Demetrius Bell, both Kansas State bound. Both have really not been a factor in this game. Will they be in the second half, and why do you think they haven't been so far?
Well, I think these players that they're playing against are pretty good. And even though you're a Division I athlete, it isn't easy to go out there and dominate. When you speak of D. Bell, he has had some pitches that have been behind him, and he hasn't really been able to keep his stride going to the outside. So he may have had some yardage and a little more explosiveness a couple of times. And don't forget, the one long run that he did have on a broken play was called back with a push in the back. So his stats don't look as good. But I think it's more of a compliment of how good the players are out there, and also the focus that they have. In the scouting report, the West squad obviously said, let's make sure we know where number 7 D. Bell is. And on the other side, same thing with Jeremy Reed. He hasn't had as many opportunities to run the football. The ball's been given more to Jason Robin, but Jeremy Reed has done a nice job blocking. So many people want to look at the production only in the running game, but how has he blocked in the passing game, and how has he done in the running game blocking? I think number 32 out there, Jeremy Reed, has done a nice job as the West has rushed the ball very well tonight, led in yardage by Jason Robin with 60 yards, but rushing overall, 54 yards rushing for the West, and they've also been able to pass the football fairly effectively off of that running game.
All right, so we have a meeting of the captains again, and we're about to start the second half of play. Jeremy Reed, who scored 7 touchdowns in a game versus Liberal, may be more of a factor in the second half. We'll wait and see, but that's how an all-star game goes. You got a lot of guys who are big players at the high schools and used to getting the ball, kind of have to sit back and take their turn as they rotate things around. Coaches do a great job of getting everybody involved. Everybody kind of gets their turn. Everybody gets their shot. No selfishness whatsoever between all these players on this team as they accept their roles and trying to do the ultimate, which is win this football game. Because I guarantee in the locker room and practice all week, as much as they've enjoyed being together, they've come here to win this football game. That's what it's all about. We've got 2 quarters left of football to play.
See Casey Kern and now D. Bell back there. Unlikely with the wind, we're seeing that they're going to get to return it. But, you know, as I say that, the wind swoops around. It's circling around a little bit right now.
And the kickoff is underway. The second half of the Shrine Bowl is underway, and it'll begin at the 20-yard line. A nice kick.
It's still out of the north.
First down and 10 at the 20-yard line. Out of the north, and that was a boot for sure.
Yeah, in high school, you can't bring the ball out of the end zone. So once the ball breaks the plane of the goal line, it's going to be put at the 20-yard line. So the West did realize the strong wind has changed and come out of the north. They choose to take the wind in the third quarter. So the East will have the wind in the fourth quarter, and they go right back to their starting quarterback, Jeremy Dillard, out of Paola. He is used to playing the flex bone offense, and that's what they're trying to run with head coach Blake Pierce.
Here we go, first down and 10. First play of the third quarter as the second half of the Shrine Bowl begins. And the handoff, 3 or 4, almost looked like Jeremy Dillard had trouble getting the football off, but he did hand it off. And on the carry was Casey Kern out of Blue Valley North, again headed to Washburn University. They've had some trouble this week trying to get their timing. A lot of these guys practice on grass most of their careers, and all of a sudden they're playing on field turf. It's been an interesting exchange between the center and the quarterbacks trying to get used to running an offense. Timing is such a big, important part, especially from the center to the quarterback in football. And there have been some plays, but so far it's been pretty good so far, I would say, both teams. 24-yard line, second down and 6. And this time, as I say it, the ball goes on the ground. So the timing between the center and the quarterback, key to always in the Shrine Bowl, and it appears that often that the ball just a little bit grabs on that field turf. And those guys are over in Emporia are having a hard time getting used to things. It's just not what they're used to in their practice fields at their high schools.
The center was trying to make a cut block. Number 71, Jacob Miller. You see right here, diving to the ground. And that changes the angle for the quarterback a little bit. Now, Jacob Miller is not the normal guy who started playing center. It's been Paul Wetzel. But Jacob Miller has had to come in and play because Wetzel's battling an injury, and that shows the difference in centers causes a fumble.
Third down and 6. That second down and 6. That becomes a third down and 6. And this is a nice little move trying to get to the inside. Look for a moment. Jeremy Dillard would have been more favorable if he had scooted to the outside. There was some yardage there, but instead he turns to the inside. And the West makes a stop. It'll bring up a fourth down.
Well, if you waste one of your 3 plays by dropping the football, the quarterback exchange with the center, it really hurts you. If you look at the 2 plays that they actually ran, they got 8 yards. So they should be in a 3rd and 2 situation and a great opportunity to make a first down. But with the mistake, a simple mistake, Blake Pierce, the head coach, has to send his punt team out to start the game. And this punt team, like earlier in the game, punting into a wind. But this is the strongest the wind has blown at any time in this game.
Jared Witter back to punt. And Witter gets it off. At about the 40. He's going to bounce once. And there's not going to be a return. Downing jumps on it, and this time the East will down it. Austin Brayman hustles down, 192-pounder, 5'11" out of Chanute. He's going to be a track athlete at the University of Nebraska. And you're looking at Joshua Downing here. Oh, you're looking at this player right here. Let me just stay this camera. Joshua Downing is out of Atchison. He's an East player going to Pitt State. His brothers and cousins made the entire starting 5 of Atchison High School, last name Downing. Every single one of them. They were mentioned in Sports Illustrated. He's a terrific basketball player, playing linebacker predominantly in this football game. West has great field position. And there's Reed. We see Reed, and he couldn't cut loose as he goes to the outside. It's going to be actually a loss of 2 or 3 yards. And there's a young man I was talking about out of Emporia. His name is Dylan Cox, 6'3", 220, I think at Butler Community College.
Watch number 31 on this play. He's going to get up here, and then he's going to reach his hand out just enough to trip him up. Didn't get a good grab at all, but never gave up. While he's falling down, players need to learn that. Don't ever give up. You may not think that you can make a tackle, but stick anything out, your leg, your arm, whatever. That time, just a hand out there caused the trip and a tackle.
Second down and 13 to pick up about 3 yards. Playing quarterback right now for the West team, Johnny Sosa. Sosa's tackled on the play by Ryan Geist, the middle linebacker out of Hayden, who makes the play.
We've been talking about him a lot. Now, one of those situations you really don't want to be in is head coach Jason Kinney has to make a decision. He would rather run out of that wing tee than spread his football team out. But on 3rd and 11, going to have to throw the football, and when that happens, you put Doug White in, a guy who's been very effective at the top of your screen. Number 2 has been an explosive receiver.
And they step back in the pocket, looking the near side. A receiver, and the catch is made. It's going to be a first down and it will hold. For the West team, Joey Garcia out of La Crosse. Just a short drive for him out here in Western Kansas. And Joey Garcia making the most of it. It's going to be a pickup of about 12 yards. It's going to put the football at about the 46-yard line. First down and 10. It was a 3rd and long. Nice play.
Yeah, the East bit on the play, thinking it was going to be a run, not thinking about down and distance. That was a mistake by the defense. You saw the flat wide open over there. Little run fake down the line to the right. And the East acted like they're in a normal scrimmage situation, said, oh, it's a running play. But on 3rd and 11, there was little chance it was going to be a run. Somehow, the West gets a first down.
Here's Jeremy Reed on the handoff. Goes up the middle, still on his feet. Close to a first down and should have another first down. Down to the 33-yard line, and that is our first look at what Jeremy Reed can do as he takes the handoff, busts loose out of a couple of tackles, and right up the middle for a big gain.
Hey, look how powerful Jeremy Reed is. As he gets up, it looks like he's going to be tackled right there by number 5, but he slips out of that tackle. Corey Walker unable to make that tackle. And you look at the big guys. Number 5 looks like he's going to get him, but he pulls away and gets down to the next level. Hayes finally pulls him down, but a nice, strong run up the middle by Jeremy Reed.
First down and 10 play for the West team. As you see, there is a flag on the field. The new set of officials makes a call early.
Into the neutral zone, the East squad gets another penalty. And this will be 5 yards and it'll be 1st and 5 for the West. Now, the West is yet to be penalized in the ball game, and that can make the slightest difference. And right now, the score's 10-7. It's just the little things that the West has done better than the East, and you can see the disgust in the face of the head coach of the East, Blake Pierce.
5 penalties, 35 yards for the East team. No penalties, no yards for the West team. There's a handoff to Reed again. Reed busts forward, breaks another tackle, moves forward to the 23-yard line, and this should be a first down. Jeremy Reed stepping up and becoming a factor now for the West team. Is starting to wear the East defense down here.
You see big number 66, Skylar Souther, right there. Looks like he's going to make the tackle. No, the big guy slips off. And Jeremy Reed gets his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, and when he does that, he is hard to pull down. It looked like it could have been a tackle by the 260-pound Souther, but he was unable to execute it.
This time they'll try the other back. Robin gets the outside, 12 still on his feet, 10, 5 trying to find the corner and does the 5-yard line. Jason Robin from the West team out of Endell makes a 19-yard pickup, and this will put the football down on the East 5-yard line.
You watch a little different speed here. 28 taking it to the outside. Robin stops right there. Now, he could go a lot of directions, but he is going to take it right back this way. It's great to cut back if you got the quickness. Right there, run to the green and do it again. Stop, cut again. Keeps his hand on the ground.
Great
keeps
job.
Up. Nice run. Good speed by Jason Robin.
West trying to push forward. Handoff up the middle down to the 3-yard line. A 3-yard pickup. On the carry for the West team is Robin again. Robin's been the workhorse so far. He's 11 carries, 77 yards prior to that pickup. Has 1 touchdown for the West team and another pickup.
Remember the Sundance kids
I
all
sure
the way
do.
back to the Miami Dolphins and Jim Kick and Larry
Don't
Zonka?
date yourself.
It looks like that. I don't know if
right.
fans remember that, but Robin kind of looks like Jim Kick. Not the fastest guy in the world, but still quicker than the strong Larry Zonka.
Second down and goal at the 3-yard line. Handoff is off the left tackle. Jeremy Reed taking it down to the 2-yard line.
Jeremy Reed playing like Larry Zonka. You know, you watch those old NFL films,
sure.
don't you?
I love the music that goes with it.
Oh,
And I like the announcers too.
It's just incredible. And then the voice of God, John Facenda.
John Facenda. You always like to say Willie Davis of the Green Bay Packers.
He
I
can
always
make
like that.
anything sound exciting.
that was
The
great.
frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
It sounds just like that. Third down and goal. Split receivers, split backs for the West team. West trying to get the end zone, extend their lead. The handoff is good. It's a touchdown. This is Jason Robin from 3 yards out, scores the touchdown, and the lead moves to 9. It is 16-7. West team out in front, and give Robin all the credit in the world. His 12th carry, 80 yards prior to that, should be 13 carries, but 82 yards as he has carried the workhorse and been the workload for the West team.
For the first time tonight, we have a 2-score lead as the West really was efficient driving down the field, starting at the 42-yard line. They were able to take it 58 yards, and Jason Robin has 2 rushing touchdowns tonight, and he has a great instinct of where to run the football.
9 plays, 8 yards. Capped with the extra point, and the lead goes to 10. West leads East 17-7 with 6:19 to go here in the third quarter. West with a very effective drive, moving down with a Robin touchdown and another look.
Well, you see right here, you see the fullback running right here. Jason does not take the ball up there. He reads so well, and he sees that he can bounce it to the outside. This is the instinct I'm talking about. Right there, sees that he can get to the end zone, did not follow his fullback, jumped outside and was very decisive, and that's why he ended up in the end zone. Good running by Jason Robin, good running by Jeremy Reed. A nice 1-2 punch for the West allows them to score their second touchdown of the game.
I'm seeing a good idea why Andale won the state championship right there. A top 11 pick for a first team running back, state champs. His 4 siblings, Luke, Brad, Chad, and Amy, all are proud of Jason Robin. 9 plays, 58 yards. The drive took 3 minutes and 26 yards. 26 minutes. Robin, the 3-yard touchdown run as the West takes a 17-7 lead. Now the West to kick off, East to receive, and the East now, don't count them out of this. The East has a lot of weapons, including this one, Demetrius Bell, but he can't run this one out because, again, the kick is past the end line. You cannot run in high school football into the end zone. A kick that is that deep. But the East has to get things under control and get an answer.
Needs to be a sense of urgency right now. They do get the benefit of having the win in the fourth quarter, and they do have some explosiveness. There's no doubt about that. But really, you need to answer a team right when they score. Do not let them build the momentum early in the third quarter and take it all the way to the fourth quarter. So a lot of pressure on the East offense to move the ball downfield and get into scoring position.
We saw Jason Robin carry the workload. We saw Jeremy Reed do a nice job. Now the ball's on the ground here. West looks like they have it. First snap out of the bank.
Penalties and fumbled quarterback
Tyler
snaps
Hurl
this
can
time.
get a hold of it.
Hurl.
Looks like on the recovery was Kaven Rudzik out of Ulysses.
The thing that scares you when you put in a new quarterback is that quarterback center exchange. It's not as easy as people think, and when you change it up, it's hard to get used to. Here's one of those situations. A new quarterback into the ballgame. Looks like a very nice snap. Paul Wetzel is the center. We saw Jacob Miller in on the previous series. Now you got a new center and a new quarterback. They probably work together on the sideline, but still, the first play is the most scary and ends up being a fumble. But the East comes back, blitzes like you're allowed to, and gets a sack in the backfield.
Marty Fannin still out of Silver Lake. Played for the state championship Golden Eagles. He comes in and makes the play. Marty Fannin still a very interesting player out of Silver Lake. Has started all 4 years. I know he goes to what we would consider a relatively small school, but when you're a starter for 4 years on offense and on defense, that speaks volumes of what kind of player you are.
You're not talking about a team that doesn't win any games. I mean,
this
this is a power in that division.
Hand off up the middle. West gets the football back following the turnover, already up 17-7. We're in the High Plains, in the heart of western Kansas. Robin again with a carry. At 13 carries prior to that one. That is the 14th carry for Jason Robin, as he has about 83 yards.
3rd and 14. Now, you can try to get a first down. All coaches think about it, but with a strong leg of kicker, Jared Witter, and a win behind him, you might want to be safe and get something short in the passing game or even a running play to help field goal position.
Cameron Castle looking to the end zone. And it's going to be intercepted. Intercepted on the near side by the East team, and the East team needed to produce a turnover. It's Nathan Padilla, 6'3", 180 pounds, out of Lawrence, and he's headed to Lafayette College. Where's Lafayette, you say? Easton, Pennsylvania. On the rollout here, Stan.
Yeah, they tried to go for the score, did not settle at all for a field goal, threw the ball up for grabs, and the defensive back was in position all the way. So he looks to the left here. He looks to the left, trying to get the safety to move this way, but the problem is there's another defender over there, so when he throws it, it's not the safety that's going to cause a problem. It's going to be the other guy in zone defense as well. So he thought he had a rolled up corner and only had to move the safety, but by turning his head that way, Mark, he never had a chance to look over there, and they were in a 4 deep coverage rather than a 2 deep coverage, and he ended up throwing the ball right to the defense. That is a good defensive call by the coordinator, Todd Dane, from Olathe Northwest. Knowing it's a 3rd and long situation, he went to that quarters defense and ends up turning the football over.
Matt Corson on the carry as the East takes over 1st and 10 on its own 5-yard line. The pickup was 3 yards for the East team. Tyler Hurl is in a quarterback. Tyler was the quarterback who fumbled the ball in the last possession. This time, things work out just fine. East team deep in their own territory, now 2nd down and 7. Hurl, handoff, up the middle, Corson again, 5'11". He only weighs 165 pounds, does Matt Corson. He's headed to Emporia State, one of those great players from that Lyon County League, 8-man football. They play some terrific football in that league. It's located just south of Emporia. Most of those teams are. And in that league, they really have some really top-flight 8-man players.
Well, now is East going to be able to convert and get these 6 yards. They do not want to punt into the strong wind after getting that interception. They need to move the ball off the goal line, and they got their passing quarterback in, Tyler Hurl, so they can look into their playbook and work in the passing game here on 3rd down if they'd like.
East team 1 of 6 on 3rd down. There's a whistle. They don't get the playoff, but the East has not been very effective on 3rd down. West team has been pretty effective, 6 of 12. And certainly the last drive of the 2nd quarter, the West team was very effective. Let's see what the play is here.
Come on, Hayden. Light him up. Let's go, Lee.
There's a legal motion as they were getting ready for the play. And you can get 2 guys in motion very easily. If someone's getting set, and then you have that wingback go in motion in this flex offense, you'll have 2 guys in motion at the same time. So in this offense, it's imperative that everyone gets up and gets set very early so that when the guy moves, you don't have 2 guys in motion.
Makes a long play even longer. Looks like the East wants a timeout, and they're going to talk about it here. Proceeds from this event support the Shriners Hospitals for Children, a network of 22 hospitals that provide expert no-cost orthopedic and burn care to children under 18. Children are admitted totally free to Shriners Hospitals for Children without regard for race, religion, nationality, creed, or relationship to a Shriner. And this is part of the fundraising effort. This is also part of the effort just to get the word out about what the Shriners do. They've held this all-star game in the state of Kansas. Now this is the 34th time around. There's a total of 68 players who've just joined us. There's 34 on each side. They were selected by a vote of the state's media. The Shriners do not have a vote in picking the players. The media does. They tell coaches to nominate players who are both good athletes and good citizens. And that's why many of these players you'll see with terrific GPAs, the National Honor Society kids, but they're also all